taking risk in the ring. The gift and the curse. This is this something that Shakur Stevenson has to do in order to become great, in order to sway the public opinion about him and his fighting style, or if he even has heart. What we've learned is in boxing, sometimes you're gonna have to take risk, uh, and it's not even really as much as taking risk for the fans, so to speak. A lot of times it's taking risk to get the win. I guess appeasing the fans is part of it because if it wasn't for the fans, there would be no boxers, right? But at what cost? At what cost do you will you have to pay in order to get that win, or appease the fans? Remember when Devin Haney, he said he decided to sit down in the pocket against Jorge Linares, and the crazy thing is about boxing fans is they're so fickle, bro. They're very fickle. It's like before Dev decided to stand there and trade with Linares, people would say Dev was running. People would say Dev was scared to engage. And then when he decides to stand there and engage and gets rocked, then everybody say he is chinny, he can't take a punch. And it'll be the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. I mean, even right now, people are saying he's chinny. That's why he don't want to get hit because he don't have a chin, right? But then the minute he stand there and get punched, and then he can't take the punch, or it don't like he don't react to the punch well. He gets wobbled a little bit. Then them same people gonna say, Shakur, see, I told y'all, Shakur Stevenson definitely chinny. That's the reason why he don't want to stand there and trade. And it's like, bruh, do you want the kid to stand there and trade so you could see a fight, or you want him to what y'all like to call run around the ring some more? Yo, y'all can't have it both ways, man. It gotta be one or the other. Even if they mix it up, you still gonna have critics. The critics are always gonna be there. That's probably why a lot of times these boxers don't really care about what the fans think. And then when they say that, people look at the boxers funny, like, we the ones that pay y'all salaries. Y'all need to respect us. But y'all don't, a lot of times these fans don't respect the fighters, man. They still the ones in there taking these punches, bro. It's not you. It ain't me. It's them. They're the ones in there taking all of these punches to the head. And the thing is, if these dudes taking risk to please the fans, and then that's not their nature to stand there and get punched, and that's not what they do. They're not used to that kind of stuff, and we're forcing them to become that way, and that's not what they really are. They can get hurt, man. They can get knocked out. They start having losses on their records and doing something out of the norm just because they want the fans to be happy. They don't want the fans to talk about them, not realizing the fans gonna still talk about them either way. Whatever happens in the ring, they still gonna talk. They stand there and bang it out and get punched and get wobbled and rocked. Then they gonna become chinny. They can't take a punch. If they move around to evade the punch, they was running. They don't want to stand there and engage. So it's you can't win, as a boxer, it seems like. So taking a risk comes with a lot. It's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a lot of consequences with that, and a lot of fans don't really think about stuff like that. And the first thing they'll say is, well, we paid. They understand what they signed up for and all this other stuff, so they understand the risk involved. Yeah, we get it, but at the same time, man, that don't mean you got to be insensitive to the point that you don't care what happens to these boxers, bro. And I ain't talking about as far as their record. I'm talking about as far as their health. Yeah, they signed up for it. They know what the risks are. They love the sport. This is something that they chose to do. But that don't mean that they gotta stand there and just get swung on and punched all in the face because you want them to do it. You know what I mean? And it's other reasons why these dudes be wanting that too. They want to see their favorite fighter um, easily beat up on their opponent, and if they can't do that, they get mad at the other dude for moving around because he didn't give their fighter what they wanted. That's part of it too. That's another thing that these so-called fans be doing, But you saw what happened to Devin. That's not his nature to stand there and brawl it out. He stood there with Linares, and he got rocked and paid the price for it, and the people still was talking crap about him. So it's like, can you even get mad at boxers that just don't want to stand there and trade? Because it's like, what the fuck? It don't even matter what I do or don't do. They're going to say something anyway. Saying only thing, standing there and actually banging some, there's a difference between actually standing there banging the whole fight, being foolish, and I guess banging in spots where you smart enough to know where you can bang and then get out, and the fans will probably, real boxing fans, not the ones that want to see Rock'em Sock'em all day long. The real fans, that's not fans of a boxer that love the sport, they appreciate if a boxer moves around the sweet science and also stands his ground and bang it out a little bit and then know how to get away and move around. Floyd Mayweather, people call him a runner. To me, he was not a runner. I enjoyed watching Floyd Mayweather fight. He did stand there. He stood there with Canelo the whole night and picked him apart. But to the Canelo fans, Floyd was a runner. No, he wasn't. That means you don't understand boxing. He wasn't a runner. He was employing the art of hitting and not getting hit. Now I know Shakur, he wasn't. You think he wasn't really doing that? He wasn't doing it to the level that we used to seeing him doing it. But if you watch the fight again, he was doing that. He was hitting whenever he could, and he got out of the way from getting hit. He was hitting and getting out of the way when he could, so he won't get hit. And De Los Santos couldn't keep up with that. He didn't know how to. He was getting a little frustrated. That is not Shakur's fault. That is Edward De Los Santos' fault for not knowing how to get to Stevenson, and he didn't have the IQ, and he didn't have the skill set to do it. That's not Shakur's fault. You need to talk to your boxer about that and tell him to go back to the drawing board and learn how to deal with fighters like that. And that doesn't just go for Edward De Los Santos. That go for a lot of these other fighters too. That they had to deal with movers kind of like similar to Shakur, or even worse than Shakur. There was Boots fighting Chukazan. Chukazan was probably worse, man. And Boots couldn't figure him out. And like I said in a previous video, it would be smart for these boxers to get a healthy diet of sparring partners that do this kind of stuff, that move around a lot. That'll help them out a lot when they actually go into a real fight and they end up fighting a fighter like that. It'll help them out. It'll help them out some more. Learn how the key to that, I guess, the main thing is cutting the ring off. That's the main thing. Cutting the ring off, where you can get them, attack them, watch their counters, get your stuff off, and then you bring it back out and be patient. And then keep on repeating and rinsing and repeating, putting a little bit of difference in the middle, sprinkling some difference in the middle of that. And then you more than likely come out victorious, probably get a knockout. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these dudes man, these dudes on their records, they got fighters that most fighters don't have footwork. So they stand there and they look good and they start beating up on these dudes that can't move around. And when they face somebody that got good feet, they have problems, man. So you can't put that, entirely on the opponent of the boxer that you love so much. You got to put some blame on your fighter too. That's just what it is. But taking risk is generally touted as part of the job, man. And sometimes in order to be a star, you got to take a risk. But you can train. They can train for taking a risk, man. You can train to, be a little bit more defensively sound in the pocket, a little bit more defensively sound mid-range. If they can start doing that, then they can definitely take calculated, safer risk without getting damaged, without hurting themselves, or without getting knocked out, and still get some good offense off while taking it back outside. Because that's their nature, man. We can't change their nature. That's how Shakur is. That's how Devin is. They're elusive. They're evasive fighters. That's what they do. When we try to force them to be something that they're not, it takes them out of their element, and then that's when bad things start happening. We don't want that. At least I don't, man. It's just my take on it. Anyway, it's your boy Rebel Like Boxing. But let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Catch y'all later.